The University of Pretoria recognises the importance of promoting social responsibility among its students, staff members and other employees. We are committed to providing an environment where students flourish, succeed and self-actualise. They receive a strong academic tuition in a traditional setting, but in order to be ready for the world of work and business, students need to be technology savvy, have values consistent with those of the University of Pretoria, and understand the importance of building strong communities.
University social responsibility, firstly, is becoming increasingly important in the higher education sector. And this is based on the realization that it's not sufficient to teach our students only about the content of the subjects for which they are studying, but also to become socially responsible and responsive citizens of whatever society they find themselves in. And so the University Social Responsibility Initiative is aimed at giving students those skills that will enable them to cope within communities, assist communities, and also exhibit various levels, I suppose sufficient levels, of social solidarity and caring for other people.
Hybrid learning is therefore integral to ensuring the success of working in communities and demonstrating compassion in real and useful ways.
The hybrid approach to teaching and learning is a combination of teaching and learning in the classroom setting as well as online and also within communities.
Currently, the University of Pretoria, UP, is the only African member of the University Social Responsibility Network, a global network of tertiary institutions committed to growing a caring society.
We offer this freestanding module called Community Project. It's a module that meets the requirements for the accreditation of our degree, which is part of the Washington Accord. And this module basically meets certain graduate attributes as part of the degree, engineering degree and other qualifications in the faculty. We believe in our faculty, EBIT faculty, we are the leaders and pioneers in this particular community project activity because it teaches and equips students for the world of work and for the real world. We develop certain graduate attributes that helps a student to understand real world issues, especially in the world we live in where there are many challenges, both from peace engineering, from climate, sustainability and environment, and the students learn these particular experiences through working with community and working with fellow colleagues.
UP has succeeded in streamlining and coordinating its community engagement efforts. This includes embedding community engagement into the curriculum. This is achieved through voluntary and curricular-related engagement with a specific development focus in communities with whom there is a relationship.
30,000 students at the University of Pretoria were involved in community projects. That's more than half of the students enrolled at the university. For me, it says something very positive about the students at the University of Pretoria, that they care not only about their own development, but of the development of others, because that's what community engagement is about. It's about students inserting themselves in the communities and seeing how they can assist communities.
The students and the communities both benefit from the holistic development approach, where UP integrated resources and expertise. Thus, community service is transformed into community development.
The community engagement process has been systematized significantly so that the values which underpin a community engagement project in education would be more or less the same as the values that underpin a community engagement project in, say, for argument, sociology or engineering. Students get evaluated for their involvement in community engagement initiatives, and in that way then one ensures that it's systematized, that it's embedded, and that students see the full value of what they are doing. And in that way then we have ensured that community involvement is taken as seriously as a final examination.
Partnerships are key to this approach, and UP has formed partnerships across a spectrum of sectors. They range from government departments, for instance prisons, non-profit organisations, pre-primary, primary and secondary schools, as well as small and medium street enterprises and residents groups in informal housing settlements. Tertiary institutions taking on large-scale community engagement have to be flexible enough to adapt with societal changes and local dynamics involved in the community. If a university optimizes the community engagement as a practice, it can be transferred back into teaching, learning, and research.
Raising funds for community projects is also a valuable learning process, so one wouldn't want to say that the universities have to all take responsibility for that. Part of the process of students becoming involved in solving real life problems is to deal with real life issues such as financial resources. How does one obtain these vital interventions in communities?
At the beginning of the academic year, the students receive an orientation lecture on the module. The diverse groups of students are then assisted to identify appropriate projects, and they are connected with community partners. After completing the project, a supervisor, on-site project leader, or mentor assesses the students and verifies the hours worked. The students then present the outcomes of the project to a lecturer, write a report, and develop a YouTube video on the project.
The JCP module is typically 80 hours time spent in a semester, of which 50% is spent in the field work basically, which is 40 hours. And our students have done a phenomenal number of projects that makes us one of the leaders on a massive scale and helping our students to understand the social challenges that South Africa has.
The community-based project module at UP gives students the opportunity to render a service to the community of their choice. Students have the option of completing the 8-credit, 80-hour module in any one of their undergraduate years of study. The course offers students the opportunity to put their work into practice and teaches students valuable life skills and empowers local communities. The main objectives of the community-based project module are that the service learning project should benefit the relevant section of society and that the students will be exposed to real-life issues. Students develop an awareness of the responsibilities as critical citizens and how they can employ their newly acquired knowledge to the betterment of the community.
We need to understand the realities of society. Hence, we need our students to understand society both from a multicultural, multiracial, and multilinguistic perspective. And hence, it's important for our students to get that experience by working out in the community, but at the same time understanding how to interact with society at large, learning things like time management, people management, and understanding how to deal with complexities out there that will help them in their profession when they go out into the real world of work.
There are so many divisions in our society that we hope that through students' involvement that some of those divides and divisions can in fact be overcome.
The module was an amazing experience for me. It's some of the most useful experience that I got out of my degree. Just the interface with people, the project management aspect of it, and genuinely helping people. I think that was a very big part of it for me.
The JCP module allowed us to assist the community, not just financially, but also with something that gives back to the children. So not only did the community benefit from the project, but we as students also benefited from the project, working together in a very diverse group and making a success of our project.
If you ask me what the value is of the module, I would say that JCP was a practical, interactive and informative module. Most other modules were more theory-based. JCP, however, opened my eyes to the needs of other people who come from a different environment than me. More than any other module in my engineering studies, it taught me teamwork, coordination of schedules and communication, project management, problem identification, real-world problem solving, thinking out of the box, and even gave me insights about other generally disadvantaged communities.
I was given the opportunity to work with a diverse group of people, all having to come to the end goal and accomplish the task. And taking that into my work environment now, it set me up to be able to communicate more effectively and to be a better leader for the diverse group of people that I'm actually working with now.
For a community like this, the project does contribute quite a lot, because when they see that someone reaches out towards them and actually helps them out with something as small as a jungle gym, they appreciate it to the moon and back. It's something that no one else would ever do for them.
I got introduced to the idea of human-centered design. So taking a human-centric approach to solving problems. Understanding that as an engineer, it is not necessarily how technically sound you are. The people aspect of it as well. You know, our projects and our solutions affect real people. So having that and understanding that part of being an engineer was absolutely critical for me.
One thing I really loved about the project was that we all came from different sides of engineering. So we had like electrical and mechanical and all the different sides coming together and using all of our inspirational ideas. We decided to really take hands on this project and really make it something that we are really proud of.
The advantages of the module, I would say firstly, is to get out of your mathematical and your black and white type of thinking and get into an environment where you actually have to think creatively. Sometimes you have to build something with your hands, or you have to get your clothes dirty, and just to break the boundaries with regards to engineering as being this highly intellectual study field, whereas now with the JCP model you get to work with people.
It teaches us that we can't just live for ourselves, we have to live for the community, and it's about being a part of the community that's contributing to South Africa.
Looking back, JCP is the one module that had the largest impact on me as an individual and on the course of my life.
I think we learned a lot and we wouldn't trade anything for this experience.
The module proved to have a positive impact on students in such a way that former students and graduates became mentors or project leaders for new groups of students and assisted in the administration of the module.
As a mentor and a project leader, I learned a lot about managing people, different kinds of people from different backgrounds and cultural ethnicities, and how the different interactions between the people go along. And that was one of the key things that I can take into my workplace where I am today, and where I also have to deal with a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and you have to work as a team, so you have to manage them and ensure that you get to the end goal and accomplish the task.
I learned that every single person has a role in the community. There was a lot of people working behind the scenes on the park. There was like consultants and directors and project managers for the park, so everybody has a very valuable role.
The project management aspect of it, I mean, as a mentor, I got given the opportunity to manage projects and help other students succeed in their projects. So I had the opportunity to understand how a budget works, to understand how to put a project plan together, to understand how to manage teams, different characters, and manage stakeholders, make sure that you deliver a good product.
It's not only what students get out of the community that's important, it's also what they put into the community and how the community can benefit from them.
Popular projects included teaching mathematics and physical sciences at secondary schools, doing renovations, repairing old computers for schools and non-profit organizations, and teaching basic computer skills to community members.
The priority for those students in those projects is to see whether they can assist communities in solving intractable problems, or those problems that seem to be unsolvable.
Some exceptional projects included laying pipes to bring water to a rural community and building a composting machine for a community of people with AIDS who wanted to start a business to support themselves.
My team and I completed our JCP project during the June break of 2007. We renovated a dilapidated preschool building for the Nyeleti Children's Home. We cleaned, painted the walls, fixed broken burglar bars, and made beautiful curtains for all the rooms. We also spent time with their children doing arts and crafts. Thereafter, another friend persuaded me to join them while they were doing their JCP project as well. She was convinced that I would love it, and she was right. Twice a week, we would visit Luberta Children's Home to assist the children with their homework.
From the communities, I learned that there's a massive desire for them to become better. They have a desire to improve themselves and better themselves, and if they only get the opportunity to be able to do that, then they would be most grateful for that. And I think the JCP module provides students with the opportunity to go out into those communities and to give the community people the opportunities to uplift themselves.
From the communities, the one thing that really stood out for me was empathy. I mean, it is so rare to have engineers, and especially now working in industry, it is very difficult to find empathetic engineers. And it's simply because we've been molded to be technically sound people, to make sure the numbers balance out and the equations balance out. But interfacing with people and actually putting a face to the solution, I think makes it just brings a whole new color to the idea. It brings a whole new, radiance to what we do as engineers.
The module has a number of sustainable community partners, which may also be identified by the students. An advisory committee comprising of members of the communities involved in the module, as well as lecturers, assist with planning and identifying possible projects. Passionate community partners have the opportunity to become mentors for the students. They take ownership and do quality control of the project, which result in even better outcomes.
The importance of this module, it builds communities, it keeps communities together, and it strengthens us as a society and eventually as a nation. It gave us as a school the opportunity to conduct our final matric exam and to have a credible final 2018 exam. Thank you to the JCP group.
And we have done almost 1 million service hours of work in the community out there. And that has resulted in something like more than 6,700 projects in South Africa.
Through the JCP module, I've discovered that I'm passionate about caring for orphaned and vulnerable children. I've managed to arrange a 3-day work week with the company I work for, which enables me to live out my passion by volunteering at Live Village in Lanseria. Based on these stories, it is evident that the JCP module impacted my life in the most profound way.
By the end of the academic year, the module's successes are celebrated with a function to which students and community partners are invited. The University of Pretoria's community-based project module has successfully integrated community service into its teaching, learning and research to service the intractable, unsolvable needs of society.